We're going to start with the ball. Remember, we're going to roll the feet. Remember, with the ball, we're going to work the space between the heel of your foot. I'm just showing you on my hand. The heel of your foot and the ball of your foot. So we want to explore this whole space in here. So you have that inside edge out by your big toe. You have that outside edge out by your pinky toe, and all that space in the middle. And see if you can kind of break it up into those 3 sections and roll. So it can be a quick back and forth roll. It can be a long, slower roll. And then the pressure that you use is completely up to you. Okay? Anytime we're rolling, it should not take your breath away. Okay? You want to maybe be able to continue your breath. If you're taking your breath away, you've got too much pressure and you need to back off just a little bit. Okay? So pick a foot, and we're going to roll that foot. Okay? We're just going to roll the space between the ball and the heel. Here. And again, you can do quick little rolls. I can go this way. You can do quick back and forth. You can do slow. Right? And take the time to kind of find the zones, the arch of the foot, the outer edge of the foot, the middle of the foot. Try to find all those spaces in there, and then pay attention to the areas that have tightness, little adhesions, trigger points. And the last thing I want you to do here is just wiggle your toes around. So maybe you lift them up, maybe you let them relax, maybe you just wiggle them. Just feel the movement of your toes and how that relates to what's going on the bottom of your foot. Okay, so just a little bit more here with the rolling. And now we're going to put the ball right in the ball of your foot. So imagine the toes, right? In this case, your fingers, and each one of those knuckle points. Try to move the ball from knuckle to knuckle. Okay? Doesn't matter which side you start on, but put the ball right under that knuckle, and then I want you to kind of keep your heel on the ground and just rock forward. All right? Just rock forward. If you have a wall, put your hand on the wall and use that for balance. We're just kind of rocking forward. Heel stays on the ground. Right now I'm on my big toe. Now I'm going to move it one over to my next toe and do the same thing. Basically, by rocking, I'm putting more pressure onto that space, and then I release it. Okay? And just moving down the line, next toe. So if you glance down, you should be able to see that knuckle kind of pop up as you put pressure into it and rock it forward. And move it out. One more. Good, and pinky toe. Good, now we're gonna go from big toe, right, still on the ball of the foot, from big toe to pinky toe. We're just gonna roll side to side. So right now you can see my whole leg is moving, right, and that's fine. But as we go, I wanna see if I can get less movement from the hip and more right here in the ankle, all right? So it helps to kind of put eyes on it. Okay, I'm gonna look and see if I can get that ankle moving more than the hip. I haven't done much so far. There we go. I'm getting more ankle. Working on ankle mobility here. All right. Side to side. Good. And then just shake out that foot. Shake it out good. All right. And I should have you done this before we started rolling, but let's do a little test now. So all I want you to do is just a forward fold. All right. So just big inhale up, exhale down, and feel the difference between the two sides, right? In the hamstrings and calves. Back here. Should feel a little looser on the foot on the side that you just rolled. Right? And we'll continue to work on that side. You'll feel even looser, but should feel a little looser from the ankle all the way up to the calf and into the quad and hips. Okay, let's switch sides. So we're going to go same thing, ball of the foot, between the ball of the foot and the heel of the foot, in that kind of webbing, basically the plantar fascia, where the plantar fascia is in the bottom of the foot. You control how much pressure, back and forth quick, or slower back and forth, a little with the toes up, a little with the toes relaxed, or just moving the toes. Okay, pay attention to tight spots. Good. Now we're gonna do the same thing on this side. We're gonna plant the heel, put the ball under the ball of the foot, and start on one side. I like to start on the big toe side, but you can start on the pinky side. I'm gonna start on my big toe. I'm gonna rock forward and rock off. Rock onto that ball and rock back off. I'm gonna do that 3 to 4 times on that big toe, and then move it one toe down. Do the same thing. Rock forward, rock back. Rock forward, rock back. Rock forward, rock back. Move it down one toe. Do the same thing. All right. Move it down one toe. Rock forward, rock back. Rock forward, rock back. And then finish that pinky toe side. Get the ball, that pinky toe on that ball. Keep the heel down. Rock forward, rock back. Good. And then take the ball again on the under the ball of the foot. And we're going to go into out. And again, you start with a lot of movement in the hip, but try to get that to where it's less movement in the hip, more movement in the ankle. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I got much better movement in my left ankle than I did in my right. I can get more of that mobility to come from this space than I could on the other side. And you can tell by the movement of my leg here, right? My leg is not moving nearly as much on this side. All right, so just, all this is just so you can become aware, right? You're gonna have differences from both sides. Don't judge, just be aware of where your body is and work within that space, okay? Into out. All right, now we're just gonna go back to that front foot, and I just want you to kind of poke it up, push down, kind of like we did with rocking under the ball, but now I want you to find the spaces in here and do the same thing. Rock on, rock off, okay? Or poke it up. Rock onto that space, rock off. If you have a really tight space and you want to hold it, rock onto it. Inhale, exhale, move the toes, release. Find a new spot. Rock onto it. Inhale, exhale, maybe move the toes, and release. Rock off of it. Okay? I'm going to stay on this side just about 10 more seconds. Good, and switch to the other foot if you want. If you don't want to, if you want to stay on that same foot, your choice, your body, you do what you need to do, okay? So on the ball of the foot, rocking into spaces, rocking out, right? Remember finding the space, any space on the inner edge, by the arch, outer edge, wherever you need that release. Hold, wiggle the toes a little bit, rock off. Good, 30 more seconds here. You can go back to the first foot, whatever you need to. I'm gonna finish up rolling the feet here. Good, and if you were in my class last Wednesday, I told you how I took a webinar last week by Leslie Bender. She's a well-known presenter in the fitness industry, inventor of the Bender ball. She recently had a knee replacement. And anyway, she swears up and down by the self-myofascial release, especially of the feet, ankle, and calves. Said it was key to her recovery from her knee replacement. She does a minimum of 5 minutes a day, just the feet, only the feet, rolling each foot. I don't think it's each foot, but a total of 5 minutes between the 2 feet, rolling out. She said it's done wonders for her recovery from her knee replacement. So let's test it now. Let's go back into our forward fold. Should feel looser in the hamstrings and the calves just by rolling the bottoms of the feet. So you can imagine the sensation and the sensory inputs in your feet and how they work themselves up the chain, right? So rolling the bottom of the feet benefits not only the feet, but everything up on top of it. Okay, so we can put the ball off to the side. Now we want to stretch the feet and the calves. So I'm going to line up this way, but if you have a wall, I encourage you to use a wall where you're pressing into the wall. So I'm going to show you how the setup is here first. Doesn't have to be a huge lunge stance. It can be kind of short. You can go longer if you want. But the key is that all 10 toes, right? All 10 toes are going to point forward. We don't want to be in a warrior pose with the toes pointed out. We want to be all 10 toes forward, okay? So that back foot, that's where we're going to stretch. You're going to push those toes into the floor, and you're going to pick that heel up to the ceiling. So inhale up, and then exhale down. And inhale up, and exhale down. Good. Keep going there. Inhale up, and exhale, press back down. Up on the toes, and back down. Good. Just do a couple more here. Good, and then we're going to flip it over so the top of toes go into the floor, down, front of the ankle goes forward. So imagine you're kind of kicking forward. And as I kick, I'm going to squeeze that glute, hold, and release. And kick, hold, and release, stretching the top of the foot. Kick, hold, and release. Do it 2 more times. Kick, hold, and release. Kick, hold, and release. Now go back to 10 toes pointed forward. Back heel on the floor, keeping that back heel down. We're not going to lift it up now. We're now focusing on the calf. We're going to reach forward, keeping that heel down, and come back. Reach forward, keeping that heel down, and come back. Notice my heel does not come up. So how far can you come forward without lifting that heel? Good. Can you reach down and up and down, keeping that heel down and up? And lengthen your stride a little bit if you have that mobility. Reach down and up and reach down and up. Okay, so we're going to be here for another 40 seconds or so. Again, if you have the wall, push into the wall, push your heel down. Actively push the wall away. As you push the wall away, you're going to push your heel down into the floor. So think of that 90-degree angle. Upper body's pushing one way. Lower body's pushing the other. You want to feel that lengthening through the calf, maybe deeper into the quad, even the hip. Make sure all 10 toes are pointed forward. Don't let that back foot spin out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Good. Let's switch sides. Okay? So back foot, or other foot, right? Bottom of the toes into the floor, heel up to the ceiling. Inhale up, exhale, press down. Inhale up, exhale, press down. Imagine you're gonna take off running, right? Inhale up, exhale, press down. Inhale up, exhale, press down. 2 more. Inhale up, exhale, press down, and inhale up, and exhale, press down. We switch it, top of the foot, right? Kick it forward, hold, and release. Kick it forward, hold, tighten that back glute, and release. Kick it forward, hold, and release. Kick it forward, hold, and release. 2 more. Kick it forward, hold, and release. And kick it forward, hold, and release. Good. Now we're going to take that foot again. Look back to make sure the toes are pointed forward. Heel stays on the mat here. Front knee can bend. Reach forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. Lengthen your stride if you need to. Reach forward and back. Keep that back heel down. Don't let the foot turn out. Reach forward and back. Maybe reach down and up, down, and up, and down, and up. 2 more here. Inhale, and exhale. Good. Okay. Again, using that wall if you have it. Foot behind you, hands in the wall, heel presses down. Hold and breathe. Hold and breathe. You're pushing, it's active. So your heel's pressing into the floor, your hands are pushing into the wall. Everything's active here. Don't let it go. Keep going. Keep the breath. And release, shake out those legs. All right, so we got the calves, palms of the feet, ankles, all loosened up. Let's do one more self-test. Big inhale up, exhale, come forward. Feel the hamstrings, it should be a little even on both sides. It should be looser than when we started. Okay, and let's go back to the ball. We're gonna roll with the ball and do anything up in a staying position first, and then we'll come down to the mat. So grab your ball. We're gonna go back to rolling, and we're gonna target the space. I find the high point of my hip, right in here, that ridge. I'm gonna put the ball right underneath it. So a lot of times it lines up with the line of my pants, right? Depending where your pants fall. But I'm gonna really trace that ridge, right, from a hip all the way in, right next to the spine. We don't want to go on the spine, but this whole space. This is our high glute space, our glute minimum space. So that's the area we want to target here on the wall. Okay, so I'm just going from hip to tailbone, kind of rocking inside to out, keeping that ball just below the rim of the pelvis. Okay, I'm going to stay here for about 15 more seconds. In and out and breathing. Again, not taking your breath away. Good. Now we're going to find the space here. Okay, so think of the ball and socket joint here, top of your pelvis here. We're going to work in this space. A lot of hip rotators out there. Here you can just do little movements side to side, up and down. Here, if you find a tight spot, I want you to hold it. So pin the ball between your hip and the wall. Breathe, and you can stretch. This is called a pin and stretch. Reach up and reach away from that wall as you press the ball into it. And feel that stretch out of your side body and out of the hip. Big inhale and exhale. That other hand can just reach down and hold it on your hip, whatever feels comfortable. Inhale and exhale. Then I want you to find another spot. Be surprised if you don't have more than one spot in this space. You can bring it a little bit forward, right? A little bit to the front of the hip. Usually there's always a nice crunchy in there, right? Again, pin, inhale and stretch. Exhale, reach away. Inhale up. Exhale, reach away. Inhale up. Exhale, reach away. And inhale up. And exhale, reach away. Good. Right? Now let's flip to the other side. Again, if you want to stay on one side, that's your choice. We're doing that high hamstring, or sorry, high glute space again, underneath the rim, from the tailbone out to the hip, right? Side to side. Hitting that glute med that tends to be the muscle that, the little muscle that does more than its job, because the big glute muscle doesn't always do its job. So this little guy ends up making up for it, or the little gal. Okay, so rocking from inside to out. If you find a tight spot, hold it, breathe. Okay, so we're doing that pin and stretch. Pin and stretch can be here, can be here, can be in this forward position. But what you want to do is pin that ball into the wall, right on that target point, right on that trigger point. Inhale up, and then exhale, reach away from the wall, lengthening from that, out of that hip on the wall side. Inhale up, exhale, reach out and away. Inhale up, exhale, inhale up, exhale, inhale up, exhale. Good. We're going to spend about 30 more seconds here in that high hamstring space. So, sorry, I keep saying hamstring. Keep high glute space, right? So, go spend time on either side, wherever you want. You can always go back to this after class. Today, right now, we're just trying to release the tight spots, okay, as much as we can before we get into stretching them. And we are going to focus on the legs today. We're not going to do upper body. We will do a little upper body on Wednesday. If you come back on Wednesday, we will hit some upper body spots, okay? Today, hips and down. Okay, side to side. Wherever you feel a tight spot, hold it, breathe. Good. Okay. Now we're going to do the glute, the big glute muscle, right? The one that we talk about doesn't always do its job. And just because it doesn't do its job doesn't mean it's not tight. It can still be tight, right? You can still have a muscle that's tight and not working, right? So you want to find that glute space, do a little hip movement, moving that ball all over. It's a big muscle, so explore all of it, in to out, diagonal, up and down. Breathe as you move. Right? If you're not finding anything in that glute space, you want to go back up higher, that's fine. You can do that. All right, and then switch to the other side whenever you're ready. We're going to spend 1 more minute here on the lower glutes, right? Or the glutes in general. So if you want to go back to the high glutes, you can do that. But 1 more minute here, rolling, and then we're going to come down to the floor and stretch. We're going to stretch the glutes, the hips, and the hamstrings. All right, everything's interconnected. As you can tell from the feet, just rolling the feet, we felt the difference up, right, all the way into the hips. So if we roll the hips, we're going to feel a difference down as well. All right, 30 more seconds. Anywhere you want to work in these glute spaces. All right, everybody good? 15 more seconds. Good. Okay, so we can put the ball to the side, and we're going to come down to the floor. We're going to start on the floor in a half kneel position. Okay, so if you want to, if you need a little extra padding for your knee when you're down in a half kneel, you can take your towel, right? Grab a pillow, whatever works. We're going to be in this half kneel position first. We're going to focus on the hip flexors. So my down knee side, I'm going to take that arm up to the ceiling. Inhale, reach up to the ceiling, and then exhale, I'm going to come forward into that front hip just a little bit. So it's inhale up, and exhale, come forward into that front hip. Inhale up, and exhale forward. But what I want to do is target this hip flexor, okay? So I don't want to just come over the knee like that. I want to squeeze that back glute. Make sure that's working. It's nice and tight. Remember, everything we're doing in the stretch is active today. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lengthen. Tighten this glute. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lengthen. Tighten the glute. Exhale, forward. We do 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Tighten the glute. Exhale, forward. And inhale, lengthen. Tighten the glute. Come forward. You should feel a nice lengthening right here through that hip flexor. And hold for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now we're going to take that front leg and stick it out, heel down, toe up, and hinge at the hip. Coming down, and we're going to stretch the hamstring here. So again, we're going to be active. So we're going to bend the knee. And then I don't want you to think about straightening the knee necessarily. What I want you to think about is you're going to bend the knee, and then imagine pulling this hip crease back, right? So right through here. Bend the knee, and then pull that hip crease back. Bend the knee, pull that hip crease back, and we're hinging. We got a nice hinge here, back is flat. We're not rounding the back. Hinge forward. If you want to, if you have your books or your block, as you hinge, you can put your hands onto that to bring the ground up a little bit higher. But we're stretching that hamstring now, right? So don't think about forcing the knee down. Instead, think about pulling that hip crease into your body. Pulling your toes up. Getting a little calf stretch as well. Good. All right, come back to our half kneel. Let's do that hip flexor 1 more time. Inhale up. Tighten the glute. And hold 3 breaths. Good. And switch sides. Moving that pillow over if you need it. Right, so we're here now. 90 degree bend in the front foot, 90 degree bend in the back, front knee and back knee, right? My down knee side, that's the arm I take up to the ceiling. Inhale up, squeezing that back glute, press forward. Inhale up, squeezing in the back glute, you're dropping into this front hip just a little bit, right? Inhale up, exhale. Think about going into that hip rather than knee going forward. Inhale up. Good. 2 more. Inhale up. And last one. Inhale up. Good. Now that leg, heel down, toe up. Knee does not have to be perfectly straight, but we're going to hinge, right? Using your brick or your blocks, your books if you have them. We're going to bend the knee and then send that hip crease back. Bend the knee, send the hip crease back. So as you send the hip crease back, if you can tighten that quad muscle on top, right here on top, tightening this muscle and curling the toes, you're going to get a better stretch through the hamstrings. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. About 3 more breaths here. And 3. Good. We're going to go back to that first side. Sorry, we got to hold that hip flexor first. Glute tight. Inhale up. Come into that hip. And from here, we're going to go down inside that front foot. We will go back to the first side because I forgot it on the first side, but we will go back to it. Inhale. Exhale. Stretching to that back hip flexor. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Now we're going to come down. Inside that front foot, hands inside, we can take the back toe. This is an option if you want it. Pick up the back knee and rock a little front to back. You can keep that knee on the floor. You lift that back knee, you're getting more of that hip flexor lengthening in that back leg. Rock a little front to back. Now I want you to imagine your front knee and take it in a little circular pattern, that front knee. What we're doing is lubricating that front hip joint. Make that little circular pattern. You can either keep that back knee up or drop it down and take that circular pattern in the other direction. Good, and come back down. So we forgot that on the first side. We're going to come back to our 90-90, right? Inhale up, tighten that glute. Forward, remember we're coming into that front hip. Inhale up, exhale forward, inhale up, exhale forward, last one, inhale up, and exhale forward, hands down, toes tucked, pick up the back knee if you want, rock a little front to back. Good, keeping that back knee up, circle that front knee. Lubricating that front hip joint. Good. And take that circle the other way. Good. And come on down. We're going to come all the way onto the floor here. I'm going to do a couple stretches that we didn't do last week, I don't believe. Now, we want to have a little bit of space on either side of you, so I'm moving my mat just a little bit. I have a wall here, so if you want to give yourself a little space, you can. What you're going to need for this, just have your brick close by, have your band or your towel, either one, close by. And what we're going to do is going to start, come on down to our back, pulling your right knee into your chest. Pull it in nice and tight and extend that left leg. Okay. So right knee into the chest, left leg is long. If you can do it, if that bothers the back, you can obviously bend up that left leg. But what I want you to focus on here is your hips, right? Imagine your hips being glued or anchored into your mat here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now, we're going to do a little stirrup, focusing on the outer hamstring here. So, option, grabbing the outside of your foot. If that doesn't work, You can grab your pants, your sock. You can also use your strap, or I have my sweatshirt here, right? I can use this as well. So this is what it's going to look like. Grabbing the outside of that foot or using your strap or towel, you're going to pull that foot in, right? Only to where your mobility allows. So if you feel pain, obviously back it up, back it out, right? So keeping that hip planted. Now we're going to reach up, trying to straighten this leg as much as you can, and then inhale, bring it back in. And exhale, reach it up. And inhale, bring it back in. Do that 3 more times. Exhale, reach it up. Inhale, bring it back in. And exhale, reach it up. And inhale, bring it back in. And exhale, reach it up. Don't let that hip lift. Hold here for 3 breaths. Good, and we're gonna release that, switch. You're gonna hold that left leg in, the right leg stays long. So same thing, you can reach and grab the outside of your foot. You can use your towel here, right? And you're gonna pull the foot in towards your body and then try to straighten that leg. And pull it in, and then straighten it. And pull it in, and straighten it. Inhale as the foot comes in, exhale as the leg goes out. Inhale, exhale, right? Inhale, exhale, 2 more. Inhale, exhale, and inhale, and exhale. Good. All right, so now bring that second foot up. You can either grab the insides of the feet, outsides of the feet. You can use your towel, right? You can use your towel around your feet, right? Using the lengthwise, you can use this. We're gonna find happy baby. So in happy baby, we don't just hang out. I want you to think about pressing your tailbone into the floor, knees, right? Outside the body. Think about getting your feet parallel to the ceiling if you can. And actively pressing that tailbone down. Rolling side to side here. Good. 2 more breaths. Good. Okay, so now knees into the chest. So we're going to focus the outer hip area here. This is where you can use your brick if you have it, or your books. Right? And we've done this before. Arms out in a T, legs to the side. Now, if you need to, you can use the box or the books or the brick, right, to support if you can't quite go all the way. Right? I'm here. Shoulder blades in the floor. My chest is pointed up. My hips to the side. Arms out in a T. Big inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now, here's an option. If you want to stretch this little muscle in here called that TFL. Your TFL muscle is a muscle right here. If you stuck your hands in your front pockets, that's a muscle right there. So if you want to try that, you can stay here in this twisted or lying twist if you want. If you want a little bit more, take your bottom leg, put it on top of your top knee, and just gently let that weight press down, right? So as the knee's going down, your upper body's going the opposite direction. So still trying to keep those shoulder blades on the mat, right? We're just holding here, get a little stretch through that TFL. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And inhale, exhale. Take that top foot, unwind. Going to pull your knees into your chest here. Slowly roll back. And then making that T again with your arms, shoulder blades parked. Go to the other side. Bring your brick with you if you need it, or your books, right? You can be here. Or you can take your knees all the way to the floor if that works for you. 3 breaths. And on this side, again, if you want to stretch that little muscle here, right where your front pockets would be, take your bottom foot, put it on top of that top knee, and just let gravity work here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Continue with 3 breaths here in this space, whichever position feels best to you. Good, and taking that top foot off, bringing both knees together, coming back to your center. Good, we're gonna finish with the breath here. So taking your brick or your books, whatever it is, or another option, you have this wall space, is you can put your feet up on the wall, either in a 90-degree bend, or you can get your hips closer and send your legs up the wall. So all I want you to do, it basically is find a comfortable space for you. Could be hips on the floor, feet up the wall, could be hips on a brick or a block, feet on the floor. Okay, just find a comfortable space to find your breath here. Okay, arms can be out in a T. If you feel it, you can open them up overhead in a Y or even an I. Just find that comfortable breath where you can relax, let the shoulders roll open. Want to focus on the breath here, big inhales and exhales. Imagine the inhales completely filling the lungs, expanding the diaphragm. And the exhales, pulling everything in towards your center. So your belly button comes into your center, your pelvic floor pulls up and in towards your center. And focus on your breath. Inhale. And exhale. Take that inhale for a 4 count. Hold at the top. And exhale for longer than 4. Good, and just continue with your breath. Finding that space. Just focus on your body. Focus on the inhales and the exhales. All right, I have unmuted everybody, but